Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be taking an old pair of jeans and upcycling them into a tote bag. And for this project, you can use any style of pants, so if you have some old pants laying around, you can make a tote bag. I'll be walking you through each step, so if you are new to sewing, you should have no problem following the easy step-by-step tutorial. With all that being said, let's get started. Getting started with supplies, you'll need 1 to 2 pairs of pants. And these don't just have to be denim pants. Realistically, you can use any style of pants for this project. You'll need a 1/4 yard of heavyweight fabric, and this is going to be used for the bottom. You don't need to add this part if you want to avoid adding the bottom panel. You can skip this supply, but we'll get more into that once we start making the bag. And lastly, you'll need 2 yards of webbing and 4 strap adjusters. This will be used for the strap up top. I want to make mine super quality and unique looking, so I'm going to be using webbing. If you want to avoid using webbing, you can also make the straps out of your pants material. After gathering all the supplies, we're going to start with deassembling the pants. For this specific tote bag, we're going to be using 2 pairs of pants because I want to use the back panel from both of these to have back pockets on both sides of the tote bag. You don't need to have 2 pairs of pants. You can still make the same exact tote bag with 1 pair of pants. And I'll get more into detail on that once we start taking the panels apart. So I'm going to place 1 pair off to the side and get started by cutting the legs about 4 to 5 inches from the center. And what I like to do is cut one side and then use that leg panel as a template to cut the opposite side. This will help ensure that both sides are cut to the exact same length. And we're going to be reusing these panels, so we're going to place them off to the side for the moment. Next, locate the remaining inseam, and what we're going to do is dethread that. The best way to do this is to flip the wrong sides out. This will give you good access to the seam, and using scissors or a dethreader, remove that stitch. I find it easiest using scissors to remove the serge and then a dethreader to remove the top stitch. Once you completed dethreading it, we're going to flip the right sides back out and locate the side seams. For the most part, side seams don't typically have a top stitch, so you can use a pair of scissors and cut in between those panels until you get to the pocket. Then you're going to cut on the inside of the seam and straight through the waistband. Separate the front and back panels, and as you can see, the back panel is a lot bigger than the front panel. This is another reason I'm using 2 pairs of pants, because I want this tote bag to be a little bit bigger. But like I previously said, you can still use both of these panels to make 1 tote bag. You don't need a second pair of pants. And if you are using 1 pair of pants, all the steps coming up are going to be done the exact same way. But for the moment, we can place the front panel off to the side. And as you can see, if we try to make this into a rectangle shape, it bunches up in the middle because of that center seam. There's a real easy way to fix this without too much work. What we're going to do is dethread it about 4 to 5 inches up that center seam. Depending on the pair of pants, I would start with 4 inches, and then if you need to go more, you can go from there. And by dethreading, it will allow us to overlap those 2 sides to flatten it out for a perfectly flat panel. Once you're satisfied with the look, place a few pins, then add a top stitch following both of the stitch paths. Before we move on, if you are using 2 pair of pants, we're going to do the exact same thing to the other pair of pants. If you're not, then we're going to do the same thing for the front panel. Cut, dethread, overlap, and add your top stitch. Either way, you will need to end up with 2 panels that you need to stitch, whether you're working with 2 back panels or 1 back panel and 1 front panel. After finishing the stitch, both panels should be perfectly flat and ready to move on to the next step. We'll be doing 1 at a time, so you can place 1 off to the side, and what we're going to do is cut this into a perfect box. Using a ruler, place it at the base of the center seam, and we're going to make a chalk mark all the way across. Repeat this step for the side, and we're going to go as far as we can to the side of the waistband. Keep in mind, we're trying to make a right angle at the bottom where the lines meet up. Cut the bottom line first, fold the pants in half, and then cut the sides. You can cut the sides separately, but this helps keep everything nice and symmetrical. Before moving on, it's best to just double check, make sure everything is looking nice and square and both corners are right angles. Everything is looking good, we're going to grab the opposite side and do the exact same thing. You can also speed this step up by placing your cut panel on top. The key is to cut both sides to the same exact shape, meaning we have the same width at the bottom and same height on the sides. Then we're going to place the right sides together, lining up the centers, and stitch just the bottom edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. After finishing up the stitch, open up the panel so the right side is facing up, locate that center seam, and what we're going to do is add a top stitch by rolling that seam allowance to the left or right and stitching directly on top. And this is going to give us a little extra strength when we're putting a lot of weight inside the tote bag. It also makes that center seam look a lot nicer if you choose not to add the bottom panel. And that's what we're going to be doing in the next step. We're going to be adding a bottom panel in between both of the pockets, covering up that center seam. I'm using a piece of heavyweight upholstery. You can use upholstery, vinyl, or leather. And I'm doing this because I want the bottom of the bag to be very durable. So what I'm going to do is line it up on the center and roll the edges over just below the pockets. Realistic, you can place it at any height, but I want the pockets to be visible, so I'm placing it just below, and then once you have that sweet spot, we're going to stitch both sides. We will be stitching it like a top stitch, so I recommend using an edge presser foot for the best results. Next, grab 4 12-inch strips of webbing and 4 strap adjusters. I'm using 1.5-inch width webbing. I want it to be a wider strap, but feel free to adjust it to your preference. Feed the webbing through the strap adjuster, and on the strap adjuster side, I'm lining it up with the top edge, and I'm placing the bottom edge inside the pocket. Repeat this step for all 4 pockets, spacing them out evenly. Before stitching them down, you might want to pin them into place and try out your spacing, because you will get a different fit depending on how far you have those spread apart. I have mine about 12 inches apart, and I found that was a good spacing for a comfortable fit. You also want to make sure they're lined up perfectly across, or else it's going to be a wonky fit once you put the top strap on. And from here, we're going to stitch the outside edge as close as we can to that edge. I'm also starting and ending the stitch inside the pocket. Since we are adding a lining, you're going to want to make sure you give yourself enough space at the top so we can add a stitch once we place that lining on the inside of the bag. You could also feed some webbing through it at this point, try it on, and de-thread it if you need to make adjustments. You can also use the legs for your straps, but I'm actually going to be using this as lining, so that's why I went with webbing instead. And that's what we're going to be doing in this next step. We're going to be utilizing these scraps to make a lining. The best way to do this is to cut down the side seams so we can open them up and have nice flat panels. Lay both panels out so they're overlapping. As you can see, the side seam is already rolled over perfectly, so we can just lay it on top and add a top stitch. Since we're using 2 pairs of pants, we're going to do the same thing for the opposite pair. So cut the side seams, lay them out, overlap them, and then add a top stitch to both sides. And when it comes to overlapping these, you want these to be wider than your outside layer. We're also going to be using the bottom hem as the top portion, so that way the top edge is nice and finished, so we're going to spin that around, so both the raw edges meet in the center. Lay the main outer assembly over top, and move the leg panels towards the center so the hem is about 1/4 inch above the waistband on both sides. You may think it's going to be taller, but this is actually giving ourselves a little bit of seam allowance, so when we sew these panels together, it matches up perfectly. Once you have everything lined up perfectly, we're going to cut the side edges first. When it comes to the sides, we're cutting these right up against the main assembly so they're the exact same size. The last cut we're going to make is directly down the center, and we're actually going to be using that center seam as our guide. You can either chalk it out or kind of follow it as you cut. And again, there's going to be scrap left over, so don't throw it away because you can use it for pockets in later steps. Just like the main assembly, we're going to place the right sides together, stitch the bottom edge at 1/4 inch seam allowance. After stitching, flip it to the right side, roll the seam allowance over, and add a top stitch. This will become our new lining panel assembly. Before moving on, I like to quickly place the main assembly on top and make sure all the edges line up perfectly. If it's not exact, you can trim the side edges, or you can sew a little bit more to match the height. From here, we're going to fold the panel in half so the right sides are together, lining up the top waistband and the hem. And real quick, if you do want to add pockets on the inside lining panel, this is the step to do it before we sew these panels together. But anyways, moving on, with the right sides together, we're going to stitch the side edges at 1/4 inch seam allowance. And it can be pretty bulky towards that top waistband area, so just take your time as you're sewing. After stitching both the lining and the outer layer, we're going to separate the panels and flip the right sides out. With the right sides out, I like to check one more time to make sure both of these sides are completely the same length up top so the circumference lines up once we stitch them together. If everything's looking good, we can separate the assemblies. And starting with the lining, we're going to locate the corner and push it in about 4 inches. You want that point to be totally inverted on the inside of the bag. If done correctly, you'll have a nice flat line on the outside, and then when you flip it around to the inside, you'll have a triangle on the inside. This can be pretty tricky to sew, so I recommend once you get it into position, place a few pins so it stays locked in. And then we're going to repeat this step for the opposite side of the lining. And the goal is to get these inside triangles to be perfectly symmetrical on both sides of the bag, with the outside being the exact same width. This step can be a little bit tricky, so I recommend playing around with it until it looks good to you. And then we're going to do the same thing for the outside panel. Push the corner into about 4 inches, and we're trying to match it to the exact same size as the lining. With all the triangles matching, we're going to stitch the outside edge as close as we can to that edge. We are stitching through all the layers, so it can get really bulky, so take your time and use a heavyweight needle. The key is trying to keep that triangle lined up in the center as you're sewing. And no worries, this is a stitch you may have to de-thread and try again. If they are all lined up perfectly, we're going to flip the lining so the wrong side is out. Open up the main outer assembly, and then we're going to place that lining on the inside, lining up the side seams and the bottom seams and that top edge. It is best to place a few pins on the side seams to keep everything lined up as you're sewing. If your top edge is not lining up, you can add a taper stitch just at the top, so that way you don't have to do a ton of de-threading. But anyways, from here we're going to stitch all the way around that outside edge as close as we can to the top. I'm actually jumping over the belt loops because this machine is a little bit too small to go through all those layers of fabric. After stitching, open the bag up, make sure all the layers got stitched together good. If you also jumped over those belt loops, it's best to go back and add a tack stitch on both sides, so that way there's not an opening at the top. and overall will give you a more durable finished product. Next, cut two 40-inch strips of webbing, and these don't exactly have to be 40 inches. You can kind of figure this out as you go and change the size that works best for your arm length. Feed the webbing through the top opening of the strap adjuster, roll over twice, add a pin, and repeat this for the opposite side. As you can see, the more you pull out, the shorter the handle will be, and this is where you can kind of customize it to your size. So before you sew it down, you may want to pin it in a few spots, test it out, and see what works best. Once you found the best length, we're going to sew the outside edge of the webbing, and then we're going to repeat this for the opposite two strap adjusters. And what I'm doing is just sewing the sides and not going across because I don't want that thread to be visible. I'm going to be adding a rivet in the middle. I also recommend going back and forth a few times to really tack stitch those webbing straps down so that way when there's a lot of weight inside the bag, there's enough strength on that stitch and it doesn't rip off. And for the final step, add your branding and your rivets on the strap and your bag is complete. I like adding a rivet directly in the center of that strap. It really locks all those layers together and makes for a more durable bag. If you're also wondering about the branding, I just used leather strips applied with double-sided rivets. So using these exact steps, you can make a whole nother bag with just the front panels, or you can mix and match the front panels. There's a lot of different variations, so get creative with it. And you can also use these front panels, or if you have back panels, for different projects. If you are making the front panels, you will want to remove the side rivets because they do get in the way as you sew those side seams. But have some fun with it, recycle some old pants, and make some new reusable totes. And there you have it, your upcycled tote bag is complete. Hopefully yours turned out good. There's a lot of variations you can make using these steps. You can do the fronts, you can do the backs, and you can even switch it up. And how we did the lining, that can be the outside and the pockets can be on the inside. Like always, I want to see what you come up with, so tag me on Instagram at Properfit Clothing. And until then, I'm gonna keep the videos coming at you, so I'll see you next time.